I would like to talk to you about blogs. Blogs are writings, a lot of times, on a topic of interest. In my previous video, I talked about content and content strategy. I recommend that you actually view it before this one. So go ahead and go to Content is the King and watch it first, because actually that video was leading up to a blog. But then I realized it got really long, so I cut it short. Okay, so what is a blog? Like I said, blog is a writings on a topic of personal interest. Now, in business, it's a little different. You're not just going to sit down and write about flowers or birds because this is what currently interests you. However, as a business, you probably have audience that you would like to serve and to whom you'd like to add value. Ultimately, our customers tend to seek value and we would like to deliver it to them. Content is one way of doing this. It is also a way of building relationship, establishing yourself as a creative and knowledgeable entity within your area of business. Again, keep in mind who your customer is and who you're serving. In my case, in a skincare business or a beauty industry, I could target two different types of audience. One being my actual customers or potential customers, or two, other creators, other business owners. If I was addressing other business owners, I could talk about marketing for business, or I could talk about marketing for a particular business, or I could talk about how to create a quality lotion. However, that wouldn't help my customers, wouldn't it? And because I am here to serve, or my business is there to serve customers, my blog would be, in a way, created to help my actual customer, my end user, the end user of my products. So maybe I would talk about skincare routine with my product, or how to relax after a stressful day. How will I know about the topics that would interest my audience? For one, I need to know who my audience is, who my target audience is. By now, you should know your customer really well, and you should have created a persona. One pager that really well describes an individual. It's really a created by your individual with certain roles and channels where we can find them. Now, if you haven't seen my video on personas, again, I recommend you view it. So, if you create a blog for your target audience, you'd like to make sure that it's relevant to them. So again, you need to know who they are. Second, you can use Google to search for topics that could be of your interest. Not your interest, but interest of your customers. Maybe frequently searched topics have already been answered, or questions have already been answered. So look for topics where you can fill a gap, maybe at an angle, or maybe disagree with an existing entity. Of course, if you're correct and you have researched the topics really well. Another way of finding a topic relevant to your audience is to simply ask them, either on Instagram, in your stories, on Facebook, or any other social medium. It is a great way of interacting with your customer. One thing I would like you to bring to your attention as far as blog goes is that it is more than just writing your own personal thoughts or thoughts relevant to your business and your customers. There are certain key characteristics of a blog that you have to pay attention to. One, it has to be publishable. Nowadays, everybody can publish a blog, okay? You can use free sites, or you can publish a website. You can have your own website and publish your blog there. If you'd like your blog to be a way of generating, building a relationship and generating traffic to your website, having a blog on your website is not a bad idea. Second, findable. It has to be searchable. This means that it has to be found, or it has to have an ability to be found via search engines. So for example, Google. can your audience find your blog when they Google for a topic of interest? This is also why you have to create topics that are relevant to your audience. Third, it has to be social. Remember, social media, or your customers are on social media platforms to be social, to connect with others, to discuss topics of their relevance. So your blog has to cover topics of their relevant to them and something that they can have conversation about. Okay, this is a great way of sparking conversation with your customer and see what actually gets to them, what interests them, and if you are building relationship with them through your blog post. Next, fourth, viral. Can spread information faster than news. Ability of a blog to go viral is beautiful. In social media times, there's no better way than this basically becomes free. Once the information goes viral, once your blog goes viral and it has a life of its own, it becomes word of mouth much more powerful than any other way of you marketing your own product because it's used by others. People all over social media platforms are being trusted more than your brand. Therefore, if your blog spreads within a network, it is a great word of mouth and a very powerful technique of getting to more people at a relatively low cost. Syndicatable. Viewers can easily subscribe. You want your viewers to be able to subscribe to your blog. You want them to be able to be notified when there's a comment or a reply to their comment and to subscribe to future posts. Finally, linkable. One thing I want you to do in your blog post, I want you to link to other sources. Perhaps you talk about a hot new ingredient, if it's a skincare business. Perhaps if you're in a spa, you talk about a new way of relaxing. If you're in clothing industry, maybe a new, I don't know, I'm not in clothing, but industry, so maybe a new way of tailoring clothes or a new fashion show or products or outfits available, not available, but shown in a fashion show. So maybe you want to link it to a interesting magazine that covered that topic, or maybe some published study. Either way, it is very important that you link it because it improves your credibility and therefore make you more trustworthy to the customer. 2, improves your SEOs and searchability on Google, which again bring us back to the second point of being findable. 3, you should use keywords that helps you with SEOs that are frequently used and searched for and make you more findable. So being findable and the linkable, there are two different but related elements. And I always recommend that you do cite your research if there's something that you talk about that is not common knowledge. As always, make your post interesting, make your post relevant, and make sure it adds value to your customer. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. And until next time, bye.